Should we take away the vote for women? What? You realize that that's how men got the right to vote, right? Is being subject to military conscription.
Honestly, if you took away my right to vote, I wouldn't be upset.
Any other ladies here want to weigh in on the voting thing?
Girl, for your body, like, what if you're raped and you get pregnant?
You're not supposed to say that word.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I think.
What does that have to do with the voting?
Because you're voting for rights over your body, like rights over.
Even if women didn't have.
You're voting for so much stuff, but that's what's included. Like, women's rights are getting like rolled back with all of the laws.
So SA has been criminalized even before women's suffrage. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but you know that they're trying to make. I don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't want to say the words on here. Can I say that a baby eater 3000 when you get rid of your baby? They're trying to make that
abortion
illegal. Yeah, I'm scared to speak on here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they're trying to make that.
Who? They got rid of Roe v. Wade, which just put it back to the states. The states decide.
Yeah, so but now some states don't allow, right? So why, as a woman, would you give up your right to vote on things that have to do with your body? And everything else. There's so many other things, but that's just like one example.
Well, I'm pro-life, so there's that.
Okay, but would you feel the same way if it happened?
Like I said, if I didn't have the right to vote, I wouldn't be upset.
That's so sad for women, honestly, and our society.
I disagree.
The feminists coming out.
Are you saying that like your husband would vote in your best interest? Not about the abortion issue, but
absolutely, my husband would vote in my best interest.
You would trust that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Being a good wife is being able to submit to your husband and trust in his decisions to lead.
Yeah.
I think what the problem is that we've lost sight of the real traditional nuclear family that is supposed to be valued. And if things were the way that they should be and that we do have those values, then yeah, the woman wouldn't really need to vote.
I mean,
in
if
today's
the man
society,
is representing her well, then I can see that.
In today's society, you know, I do like the right to vote, but like I said, maybe if I'm changing the perspective to if I never had it, I don't think it would affect me. But now that I've had it, if they were to take it away, that's kind of different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think.
Wait, I have a question for you, Maddie. If a guy gets a woman pregnant and she wants to keep the kid.
Yeah.
But let's say he's not ready to be a dad. Maybe he's not mentally ready. He doesn't want. He's not financially ready.
Okay.
What do you say to him?
Did he consensually make the choice to come in this woman?
I'm not sure where you're going with that argument, but sure. Let's say yes.
If you come, sorry, let me point at you. If you come in a girl, then you are consenting to the idea that if she could get pregnant, and you are doing that willingly, knowing that she has a choice now because it's in her body.
Okay, so as a woman, then, if you consent and you want a man to come inside of you, and you realize that that carries a pregnancy risk, are you saying that would you not be in favor of her or would you not be in favor, Jesus, would you be against her getting an abortion?
I'm not against abortion.
Okay, well, I'm a little confused there. So you're saying you think that consent to sex on the man's part, or consent, like coming inside of a girl, means you are consenting to being a father and being financially obligated to 18 years for child support?
When you come in a girl, that is what you are doing, right? What you come in a girl to try to get pregnant. Like now people do it for fun.
Or you could just think it feels pleasurable.
Well, it doesn't matter because biologically that is what people do to get pregnant. So you don't get to say
Wouldn't that
that's
apply
just
to
for
women
fun.
too?
To get came inside?
What?
Yeah,
What are you
I mean,
You're letting it-
Women
if
like
you-
that, but
you let him do it.
You let him do it.
let him
yeah.
penetrate you without a
realize
condom.
like that's a risk you're taking is
Not-
getting
No,
pregnant.
yeah.
Not only did you let him penetrate you without a condom, you're also more aware of your cycle. You're aware of your closer to ovulation. He doesn't necessarily know that. You know what stage in your cycle you're in.
But are you arguing that like the man shouldn't have to be a father to the kid or should have a say in whether the baby is
Well, it's
had or
interesting
not?
because you're basically, so you're saying that if a man consents to sex, then he's also consenting to
a risk of pregnancy.
which you acknowledge he has. If the woman chooses to,
Then he has no say in
he has
because
no
it's
say.
not growing in his body.
So the man should have done what? He should have kept his legs closed. He should have not had sex.
There's protection or there's trust in the person that you're having sex with.
Sometimes those things fail.
Okay, but
What if the woman lied that she was on birth control?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Then
still
that's
plan
just-
B.
No, but what if she wants to keep the
no,
kid?
that's deceiving. I don't agree
Okay,
with that.
but-
I've seen it happen.
But legally he would still be obliged to pay child support.
Yeah, but you're still having sex with the person. You know what? Birth control fails too. I've seen people get pregnant on IUDs.
But it's interesting that how you have, so you're saying that it's more ethical, or well, you're saying that killing a unborn child is better than
Better than what?
a father abandoning his child.
Killing an unborn child is better than a father abandoning the child?
Like that's more acceptable.
I'm arguing that that women should have a rights to their body. And
But we're talking about a
How about-
life. Like if the woman decides
it's
to
not
have,
a life, it's a few cells clumped together.
but it will produce
It's
a
still
life.
your body, though.
It's
Like,
it's gonna produce a
Someone
life.
can't force you to give birth.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but you also had a choice. You have a choice to not have sex.
So did the man.
Yeah,
But
you're
so
both
why-
you're both
to not
taking
come, which is a lot easier, is it not?
When it comes
to
to
not come.
To then do mean.
She again donated $99. Whoever just sent the last message is lying. I messaged Maddie asking for a naked squatting video an hour ago and still haven't gotten a response. Maddie, message me after you're done. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's just interesting, like, people who, like, when you look at the male perspective when it comes to perhaps an unwanted pregnancy, you guys, your arguments are basically pro-life arguments, but for men. You should have not done that. You should have kept your legs closed. Too bad. Suck it up.
And
Enjoy
reverse applause to
enjoy
you.
the 18 years of child support. But a woman, here's the other look at it. A woman, you would tell a woman who says, I'm not financially ready to have a child. You'd be like, totally fine with you getting an abortion. A woman who's not ready to raise a child, you'd say, totally fine with you getting an abortion. But when it comes to the man side of that equation, you're like, tough, suck it up.
He doesn't carry the baby.
Doesn't matter.
But it's his semen.
Tell you what, how about this? So if a man fails to pay child support, we've done away with debtors' prisons in the United States. You cannot go to prison for a financial debt, except when it comes to child support. And this is definitely a gendered issue because men are overwhelmingly the ones that are legally compelled, typically through the mothers, this is something mothers seek out. Men are legally compelled to pay child support, and if they don't, they're going to be jailed.
Okay, but see,
That is taking away their bodily autonomy.
But I would
And
not.
you're forcing them to labor, and pay money that they would perhaps not want to give. That's taking away their bodily autonomy. You'd force them to work.
But I'm arguing that women should always have the choice if they keep the baby. I didn't say it was right that men have to pay for the next 18 years, whether they're involved or not.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
We're just saying that like a woman should have her own choice over her own body.
But it's interesting to me, though. You're talking about bodily autonomy, but you say that men shouldn't have bodily autonomy because they get drafted into war.
What?
Men don't have bodily autonomy because they're subject to military conscription.
They're not carrying children.
I don't see how that's relevant.
I do.
I would actually argue that forced military conscription is a bigger infringement on bodily autonomy than abortion. A woman's lack of ability to get an abortion. Do you disagree?
Can you say it one more time?
Okay, so here's the difference. So, I would argue that forced military conscription is a bigger infringement upon bodily autonomy than a woman not having a legal right to an abortion.
I'd say they're almost similar,
Really?
honestly.
Really? Okay,
I would.
so forced military conscription is your government saying, despite your desires, we are going to pluck you out of Kentucky, put you in a war zone where, let's look at World War I. You're going to be in a trench for months. You're going to see a bunch of death. You're going to have tinnitus because of all the because of all of the shelling that's just bombardment nonstop. You're going to have trench foot. You're going to get chemical gassed. You may very well just die, or if you're not, you're going to be a casualty, and you'll have, perhaps substantial physical injury. And if you don't have physical injury, you'll have significant mental injury. They called it shell shock. There's been different names, PTSD. I would argue that the state forcing you to do that versus a woman who, for example, consents to having sex and she has an unwanted pregnancy and she's not capable of getting an abortion. So my position again is it's a bigger infringement upon one's bodily autonomy to be forced into war than you not being able to undergo a medical procedure.
It's not just a medical procedure.
That's actually exactly what it is.
But if you don't do it, it is a life. It is a full person.
You could give it up for adoption if you were so inclined.
If you're not ready to carry the responsibility of motherhood, then you're not ready for sex. That's my opinion.
You could give the child up for adoption. So your argument about, it's an 18-year commitment isn't necessarily true. And there's actually you can almost in every single...
but why is that fair to that kid? Why would you go through all of that? I know adopted kids and they are fucked up.
Sure.
Beyond belief.
Sure.
So why would
every
you do
single
that?
one of them. So why would you choose
You have the
to
option
do
to do it. You could give it up for adoption.
Why should that be an option?
Why would you want to take away
someone's
someone's option to not make someone else's life fucking miserable?
Wait, so are you guys arguing that adoption, look, I'm not saying it's great for the child, but I think if a woman, you can go to the fire department, and leave it with this is a thing that women can do, that you won't get in trouble for it. You leave it with at the fire department, and
that's ruining someone's life.
It genuinely is.
I mean, now we're arguing about something different. My initial argument was,
I know your initial argument.
It's a bigger bodily autonomy infringement.
Matthew Lee donated $100. Fact, biology says human life starts at conception.
Yep.
The baby is not your body. When you consent to sex, you know the risk of pregnancy. Own up to your actions. Do not play God and kill another life.
This is very, very true. It's like we have precautions, we have warning signs, but yet we choose to ignore them. That's like driving without a seatbelt. It's like what the risk is.
Okay, but I got pregnant on birth control and never came inside with an abusive partner that beat me. You want me to keep the baby?
I'm not saying anything to you personally, and this isn't even a personal attack. I'm questioning your values. I'm questioning your argument. That's the only thing that I'm talking about. I'm not saying anything about you. Yes, that's unfortunate, but you could have given the baby up for adoption.
But why?
What? But you are ruining another person's life.
But you're not going to guarantee that baby's life is ruined.
Wait, so you're saying
guarantee that.
You're saying
putting a baby up for adoption
versus aborting them? Is that your
It's
argument?
growing up without parents.
But so
Yeah.
is your argument that it's better to have been aborted than to grow up in foster care, basically?
Then to just have it to give it up, yes. I am saying it is better to do that. If you are not going to have the child have a good partner that you think is going to be a good fit as another parent, then you should not have the kid. If you're not financially stable, you should not have the kid.
Okay.
That's my stance.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Sure, you're pro-life. Or excuse me, sorry, you're pro-choice. Okay, I don't even know how we really got there. In any case, I still think, I don't know if I've been able to convince you that it is a greater infringement on bodily autonomy to be drafted as a man forced into damn.
God King Xerxes donated $100.
Thank you, man.
Last time donating. So would you rather be sad or have a bad life? Should we kill all depressed people? Stupid argument. Why take away its life? Abortion is taking away any chance.
We're all starting off as a ball of cells, but that's the beautiful thing is look what it created. It created you, created everybody that's sitting here at this podcast. You know, your parent could have easily chose to not have you and aborted you. And that's sad and that's
my
devastating.
parents were together and financially stable, and I grew up in a good household.
And my parents weren't financially stable, and I ended up being okay. You know, everybody makes choices in their life that can change for the better. Somebody who's adopted, grew up in the foster system, you know what? They can get out of the system. They can make something of themselves.
But the trauma, you are guaranteeing certain trauma to someone before they are even born.
Trauma happens to everybody. We're just talking about
But
men
why
who go
would
to
you
war.
guarantee
They have trauma.
certain trauma before someone is even born? You are not giving them the best chance at life.
Isn't
But we're
life
also
suffering
generalizing
in
the foster
general?
system.
So shouldn't we
Not
just
every
take your
foster kid is gonna have a
shouldn't we
bad
just
life.
take your argument to the maximum? Like, isn't it the Buddhist saying life is suffering, right? So should we just abort everyone because we'll inevitably encounter some sort of suffering in our life?
No, I'm
Like,
saying you
I've
should
had-
only have kids if you have a good situation already to give them the
Okay.
best chance possible.
Anyways, this kind of stemmed from, look, I want to restate it one more time. So, forced military conscription is a bigger infringement upon bodily autonomy than
bring it back to that so bad.
than abortion. Agree or disagree?
I feel like they're similar, which is what I said earlier. I'm in the same place.
So okay, you think that I don't even know how to convince you on this. Similar. You think it's similar?
Yeah, this is what I said.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Let's remove abortion from this. Do you think that the average woman's experience with pregnancy is worse than the average person's experience in the military?
But you're not saying the pregnancy and how it is going. You're taking away the choice or not, right? Like, that's what you're arguing? I don't
Okay,
think pregnancy is as bad as going to war. If you're getting shot at, it's not as bad as carrying a child for 9 months.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
But that doesn't end at 9 months.
The government has the potential to force men into that position.
Yeah, in the same way that if you take away rights to an abortion, you are also forcing women.
You're not actually, no, because I mean, look, there's certain situations where women are assaulted and that's terrible, but the vast majority of women are getting abortions of convenience. They got pregnant, they're consensually fucking their boyfriend. You know this. Most women are getting abortions because like their fucking boyfriend knocked them up. You know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Brian's point, though, like men being drafted to war, you know, they're going to have a risk of, you know, dying, right? So we're talking about actually taking away a life that's here. To your point, if you believe that life doesn't begin until a certain amount of time, I don't know what your belief system is on that. You're saying because we're taking away a potential life versus taking away an actual life, that potential life is worse than actual life?
women actually have a higher chance of dying during pregnancy.
Have a higher as
Higher
compared to men?
Compared to what?
No, I'm so sorry.
Men don't get pregnant.
From like your first pregnancy is like your highest chance of dying.
Okay.
What are the exact numbers on that?
Relatively low.
Well, I'm just saying there's still a chance, just like the war.
Yeah, of course. There's. I
Okay,
mean, you
but
can.
it's the same as the war.
No, it's not the same.
Here, we're going to move on a little bit, but
You have a bigger chance
one
of dying
final
in
thought
war.
on this. So, I think what would be fair in states where abortion is legal, I think men should have a corresponding right called legal paternal surrender to, if the woman gets pregnant and he can make some sort of legal election to not be financially responsible. He can waive his parental rights.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I actually think that would be a very strong platform for pro-choice people to present to perhaps shift more men to the pro-choice side by saying, let's bundle abortion rights with legal paternal surrender. In any state where this is legal, gentlemen, if say you're dating a girl, she wants to keep the kid, you're not ready to be, you're not financially ready, you're not emotionally ready, all those same reasons that women give for having abortions, I think men should be able to legally surrender their parental rights,
Yeah,
which
I
includes
think,
not being compelled to pay child support, basically.
Yeah, I think within a certain time frame that you should be able to make that decision and sign
long-
off on it and it be legal.
Yeah, that's my position.
If there was a middle ground, then yeah, I guess that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
If there was.
I think that would honestly be a big W for the pro-choice movement.
Mm-hmm.
Try to, appeal to some men on this. I don't know. Anyways, okay.